The legacy of Daniel Alves, recalling the trajectory of the legendary player of Barcelona. The former Barcelona player, who has been in custody since January 20th accused of rape, is due to be tried in the last quarter of this year. This has been the most repercussion case in cases of violence against women. According to the newspaper El Mundo from Barcelona, Daniel Alves could be sentenced to a sentence of 8 to 10 years in prison. The former player of Barcelona and the Brazilian national football team has been in custody since January 20th, accused of raping a woman at the end of last year in a nightclub. The judgment should take place, probably in the last semester, still in 2023. According to El Mundo, the Spanish Public Prosecutor's Office will try Daniel Alves for the crime of sexual assault with penetration, with a sentence of between 4 and 12 years. Judicial sources confirmed to the publication that the Brazilian still has the aggravating factor of abuse of authority, and that the penalty would exceed 8 years of imprisonment. The last decision of the Spanish justice in relation to Daniel Alves was to maintain his imprisonment until the end of the trial. The request for freedom that came from the defense of the former athlete was denied last week. In the order rejecting the request for provisional release, Judges Eduardo Navarro Blasco, Miriam Linage Gomez, and Carmen Gil Roman justify that the knowledge of new evidence and the progress of the investigation exponentially increase the risk of initial flight. And he also emphasizes that the Brazilian has no significant connections with the city of Barcelona, since he was in Spain on vacation. He will continue to await the trial, while the investigation is already considered advanced. The document states that there are various indications of Daniel Alves' criminality, and that they do not just start from the statements of the whistleblower. Testimonials from employees of the nightclub, friends of the victim, and analyzed videos would also weigh against the Brazilian, in addition to the corpus delicti and DNA exams collected during the investigation phase. The decision taken by the audience in Barcelona is based solely on the request of Daniel Alves' lawyer to leave prison, analyzing the risk of fleeing to another country. Evidence has not been analyzed to determine whether or not he is guilty, something that will be done on trial day in the second half of 2023. There is no possibility of appeal against this decision, but the player's defense may request it in case of new arguments. Daniel Alves was signed by Pumas, a Mexican club, in July 2022. His goal is to play to continue on the list of selectables by Coach Tite, former coach of the Brazilian national team, for the Qatar World Cup. The 39-year-old right-back played in a few matches, and the club was soon eliminated from the Mexican tournament. After the repercussions of the rape case involving Daniel Alves, the Mexican club terminated the contract with the player. However, the future of the former Barcelona player remains uncertain, who had a glamorous spell at the Catalan club.